similar to the first. I mean, it was expected because they have to compare all the three slots, and normally when you have to compare papers across slots, the paper pattern would remain the same as it. They can't differentiate the paper pattern normally. So if you look at the paper pattern was similar. I mean, like in the first slot, the verbal and logic were simple and the quant was lengthy. It was similar on that respect in terms of difficult level of individual papers. So as I said, verbal easy, logic was also comparatively okay, and lengthy was quant. Quant was comparatively on a lengthier basis. I mean, those who wrote the first attempt of the paper found the second attempt more simpler because the pattern was similar. As a matter of fact, it seemed like there were some sentences which had come in the first slot also came in the second slot. The question was different. Like in the first slot, the question was compound word. In the second slot, the question was verb. So people who wrote the exam in the first slot found questions familiar and therefore were easily able to understand the pattern of the paper and solve it faster. So that was the advantage as such. So people who went through the first, therefore people who are going to a third slot, recommend you to at least go through the type of question that came in the first and second slot and then go to a third slot, because there were some similar questions. Like for example, there was input output in the first slot, there are input output in the second slot as well. There were two questions input output, which normally doesn't come in SNAP. Similarly, a lot of questions, I mean, in terms of critical reasoning, yes, there were 7-8 questions. Decision making question, which was around 3 odd questions on decision making, and maybe additional 4-5 questions of normal critical reasoning was there. Okay, as far as logic is concerned. Logic bit lengthy, there were series questions, not purely alphanumeric, but similar series questions, which were asked both in Quant and LR logic. Right? So yes, there were similar questions in that respect. If you look at verbal, comparatively you could go fast. Nothing which was a speed breaker as such could go fast. Like there was words with suffix which was asked, and a lot of other things which was asked. If I look at Quant, there was question on probability. Probability was more of defective bulbs type of question. There was question on permutation combination, question on time per distance. There were 3 questions on percentages, okay, and few questions on series and alphanumeric series that was quite asked. So look at it. One DI set with 2 questions were also there. So that is also which was asked. So if you look at it, yes, I mean, overall, if I see people who wrote the first slot had an advantage of knowing the paper, how to solve it. So if you're going to the third slot, please go to the first and second slot and go about it. As in the first slot, Quant was lengthy, so should have been solved in the end. Any lengthy question, there were a few lengthy questions. Like there were also questions on trigonometry as to cos 60 and all stuff. And if you find lengthy and if you don't know it, should have been left. There was also question which had like concentric circles drawn, 6 circles, and you had to derive by solving. And there were a few questions on equations which were quite lengthy. These type of questions you had to leave it. I mean, there was no point solving in a speed-based test. So, learning for the third slot, I mean, go through the paper in the first and second slot before you go to third slot. Okay. Look at the type of question that came in the first and second slot. There could be similar questions that would come in the third slot, like input, output, and what type of questions. And lastly, have a proper strategy in place, because verbal and logic are simpler as compared to Quant, which is comparatively lengthy. Right? So all the best. Cutoffs should remain similar, I mean, across slots. I mean, Quant was a little tougher, verbal and logic was comparatively okay. So it should balance it out. It will, maybe people who wrote the first slot may score a little higher in the second slot, but overall it was simple. Right? All the best. Thank you.